You should be getting a
Oh,
notification.
I see it.
For that one. And
I see us on Facebook too. Here we are. Hi, everyone.
we're live.
Hello.
Happy Monday.
It's not sure. Oh, there we go. We're on YouTube. I don't think we're on Facebook yet.
I see us on Facebook.
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay, cool. It's not showing up in my
Sometimes it
notifications.
gets lost. I'm going to pin it.
Hey guys, welcome to another awesome episode of Star Wars Rebels Revisited. We're here to talk about all the things today.
So much.
So much.
As we were getting ready, I realized I didn't even put into the notes Super Bowl. Not that we care about the football, but the pop culture surrounding.
Oh yeah.
We have a hefty agenda, kids. So we'll give everyone a minute or two to pop in. Hello, Sarah and Spencer. As always, I'm Mark. I'm here with Ashley. And we've got Jeff behind the scenes, which we forgot to say again, happy birthday. He was off last week and yet popped into the chat.
I tuned in on the ride home from my day at Disneyland and listened to the majority of your show. So I wasn't able to converse well because I was having some audio issues at first, and then
okay.
Can't chat and drive too easy.
Well,
so
I was going to say,
did you buy yourself something
cool? Nice respite from the day to listen to you guys as I drove home. So that was kind of cool.
Oh, thanks.
But thank you again for the birthday wishes, and it was nice
You're
to
welcome.
not have to rush back to take care of things. The other guys were
you're supposed to party all night on a Monday.
I was done. I got there. What time did I get there? 9-ish in the morning, and by the time I left, when you guys started at 6 my time, I was well done.
Oh my gosh.
Enough for me.
I'd be like, nope, 4 more hours. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm nervous to eventually go with.
Don't appreciate it so much anymore. So,
yeah.
That makes me
sad.
Get
some opportunities to relax and hang out in the Lamplight Lounge and have some interesting concoctions they serve. And
that sounds like a fun time.
Spencer bought me a drink at Oga's, even though he was in Boston. So he sent Mike some money, and we had a couple of
nice.
Oh, good.
Some of the bread blossoms or whatever they call them, the pretzel knots that they have, which are pretty good.
Oh, and, that's new. That wasn't there when I went. That's good.
That's one of the newer items. The newest one is something that has pastrami in it, which I don't really care for. Not that
so they took it out of the charcuterie board and put it in that. That's weird.
It's basically just a different form of sort of a charcuterie with different bread. So anyways, it was fun. I enjoyed my day.
That sounds like a great time.
That's awesome.
We eventually need to do, as the VCN family, the park hopping. I am concerned, though, that Ashley will drag us from opening to close.
Oh, you guys are going
my legs
all
will
in.
collapse. So, and somehow in a convention setting, I could do it. But I think in a theme park setting, I might die. So.
I get like the same kind of blinders on that I have with conventions. I call them the con blinders, where it's like, just go,
yeah.
Just don't stop.
You got to check it off the list.
Yeah,
which
definitely.
Is actually similar to our agenda for tonight. We've got a ton of stuff. We're watching a killer episode. I know we keep saying that because they're all good. It's Rebels, but this is like among the best of the best. Legacy Mandalore.
There is also a major Star Wars Easter egg in this episode that you might know about it, Mark, but I know that a lot of casual fans don't really know it because it's not common. But when we get to it, I'll let you know.
That's the thing I like about tuning in to this is those little things, those little beats, some of the behind the scenes stuff. I always rewatch Recon as well before we do our show to get some info of what was happening at the time. As a reminder, this is the debut of Sabine's family. We get to meet her mom and the brother. And it's the big fight with Fen Rao. Like this is a stellar episode.
Gar Saxon.
I'm sorry, with Gar Saxon, yes. Fen Rao is also there. But Gar Saxon is the fight. So
saving the day.
Yeah,
covert ops.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Aside from actually watching the episode, which I promise we will do, and I promise we will stay on topic, we have to talk about Star Wars Celebration and the many, many news beats that have happened. We have some huge autograph reveals. So, Ashley, do you want to start with, he's probably your favorite, right?
Oh my goodness. Yes. Our boy Ewan McGregor is joining you all in London this year. So make sure you get your autographs because right now his Sunday photo ops are sold out. I don't know if there's any more slots. Yeah. Already. It's faster than Anaheim. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Anaheim, at least it gave you a few days, but yeah, it's definitely going quick. So don't sleep on that. He's really, really awesome, you guys.
Even with
does
all
he
the
have a
complaints
joint
about prices, that they're
Yeah.
still going really fast.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
He's a little bit cheaper in London than he was in Anaheim, because Anaheim he was about $300 for an 8x10. Obviously, like no inscription or anything, no Obi-Wan, no name, no personification or anything, personalization. But definitely don't sleep on that. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's I would say the headliner at the moment.
Yeah.
Which I will say every week we've been saying, hey, this person's the headliner. And then they just keep dialing it up. Like I think and actually as of days ago, I would have said Rosario Dawson is the headliner. She was just announced, which huge for Rebels fans, since the Ahsoka live action show is basically going to be a sequel to Rebels at this point. It's seeming that way.
Season 5.
and with that, like Rosario's there, Ewan is there, Hayden is there. We talked a little bit about this on the news desk on Saturday. You know, would they do a group photo? Is Hayden or Ewan even in the Ahsoka series? There's no confirmation that they are, but I think there's a lot of speculation that Hayden will be in the series, if not Ewan.
So Spencer brought up a point on Saturday's show during the Intergalactic News Desk that as it stands right now on the Epic Photo Ops page, there's a team up photo op with Hayden and Rosario, and it's got the Ahsoka logo. So
not at Celebration, at
sorry, MegaCon.
WonderCon or MegaCon. Yeah, some con that isn't Celebration. And I think that's sort of the point, right? That like, by the way, if I were booking a con and I happen to have the two of them there, I'd put them in a dual photo out.
Totally.
Photo op, sure. The question becomes like, what will we know about the Ahsoka show going into Celebration? What will they reveal? And what can you monetize? Like, because as a licensee on the other side of it, like I didn't know that Ian McDermott was going to be in episode 9 until right before. Could I have put him in a photo with, if like John or Daisy or someone were there at that point? Like I probably wouldn't have been permitted to. So I don't even know if that duel will be an option. I would like it to be. I think in general, like if they're all attending the show, you can meet any of them and they should allow you to do whatever combos you like. But I don't think those options are available right now on the official picks page.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to confuse anybody, but
no, I wanted to clarify because like I do think that there should be more. There should be more group team ups. I think I love those. It's like when else are you going to meet these people at the same time?
Exactly.
And with that in mind, I just mentioned Ian McDermott. He's also one of our reveals today.
Yes. So he makes a huge appearance in this week's Bad Batch episode, which we'll get into in a few minutes. So you definitely want to meet the Emperor. He's also a really nice guy. I met him in Rhode Island a few years back.
He's terrific.
So,
having worked with him,
consummate
professional, super friendly, super nice, like easy to work with, loves the fans. All the good stuff you hear about. You know how people talk about you hiring back and you hiring back and they say good things? Like they say good things about Ian. He's good people. Yeah.
Yeah, just having him come out on stage in 2019 in Chicago and be like, "Roll it again," was just like
exactly.
You can tell he loves the fans and he loves hamming up for the fans. So
the voice is amazing. So many people just like do it, which I can't do it, but that is I would think the line. Yeah. So we got Ewan, which by the way, that's a prequel representation. Obviously, Obi-Wan Kenobi in the latest show.
Yeah. So you got 3 from Obi-Wan right now. Oh, and nope, 3. Indira.
Vivian. And Hayden. So Hayden makes 4. Ian McDermott, obviously best known for Return of the Jedi, which it is the 40th, and we've got a stack of 40th Return of the Jedi group members.
Yeah,
it's a blast. Like the Creature Shop is coming out in full force, and all the secondary characters, including my Carolyn Blackiston as Mon Mothma, which I'm very excited about.
Oh my goodness. Are you going to get her autograph? Do you have her autograph already?
I do. I have her autograph with Tim Rose on like a great piece from like, which is very cool. I know. That's a good one. I have never met her in real life though, because she is based in England and she's 90 or 92. She's old. So I was very surprised that like she's attending, which is excellent. She hasn't left. Like we were going to bring her to a convention, but like I think she couldn't leave England, right? Like it's a lot to do that kind of travel.
Yeah.
So I would like to meet her. I think that would be very cool. If you can do it, I would put her on the list of like, must get. And Mike Quinn is going to be there. There's a bunch of great people.
Love Mike. Oh,
so cool. And Billy D. Williams, who is also Return of the Jedi, and of course, like classic trilogy in general.
Rise of
I mean,
Skywalker,
yep,
Rebels, your
Rebels.
cast pieces will
Mhm.
be fulfilled.
That's the thing. If I met Ian and Billy now, I would add them to my Rebels piece.
Yeah.
Oh, that brings me to another point. We have, based on the show we did last week, Dave
This is
created the
brilliant.
Google Doc. The Google Doc that I threatened to make, Dave did it while we were still on air. So the Google Doc is up with all of these people added, as well as a running list across the top as to what part of the saga they're in, along with like their pricing. And I added some extra columns to the end with like male or female, or first timer or returning guest. So we can do some of those like mathematical rack ups. But yeah, there's actually like a good number of Rebels people going, not because they're also in Rebels. They're not Rebels main cast, but it's like Ashley Eckstein, Matt Lanter, Ian McDermott, Billy D.
James
Williams,
Arnold Taylor.
James Arnold Taylor. Like he's in that one episode. A lot of these people make it into one episode of Star Wars Rebels. And you can put them on the poster if you want. I would. So but yeah, it's a great group that got announced this week. So Ewan McGregor, Andy Serkis. Oh, Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis, our boy Kino Loy, our boy
and who plays no one else, just Kino Loy.
Just Kino Loy. That's what they put him on the page. I was like, he's also Snoke. Did you guys
give him a slash at least? Yeah, slash Snoke. Yeah.
But they really want to get it out there because it's like, oh, he's not just Snoke. He's this awesome character that's out of Andor. So we have
he's
two
only
for
our
Andor
second
right
Andor guest. Yeah, with 2 tubes. Aiden Cook.
Yeah.
So, I'm still holding out for Ian or Pedro. Which then at that point, who's your headliner? Is it Ewan or Pedro or Diego?
Do you have to have one though?
No, and that's the thing is like everyone's got their favorite character. There are people who think that like Ian McDermott's the headliner, or people who like when Ahmed Best was there as Jar Jar Binks. Like there are people who met him and no one. So my feeling is that like the headliner is whoever's the headliner in your head. Like for me, it's like kind of Michael Carter. Honestly, you see Bib right behind me. Like
yes,
I would
that
meet him.
Really,
I've
really
met
awesome
him before.
Is that a cup?
It's a mug. Like it's a full on.
So rad.
Like it's very cool. I'll bring it close next time. But if I stand up, the background's going to evaporate. It's going to be a whole thing. We had some tech problems before the call started as I was trying to align on my background.
But we can actually see Mark's little headphones.
I've got a shelf here with books and pops and all sorts of cute stuff. I got no shortage of merch, which I joked I was going to auction off for my GoFundMe to get me to Celebration. It was quite the discussion on Saturday. Oh, so for anyone who missed out this weekend, we did our intergalactic news desk, the second one related to Celebration 2023. We had some fantastic guests. Gary O'Toole co-hosted with me from Blob of the Hut. Spencer produced and popped in at the end. We had Martin Keeler. We had Jed, and then Mark from Ash. Mark Hamilton from Ash, the rock band. All 3 of them were there, Martin, Jed, and Mark, to talk about Cantina 2. And they gave us a great overview of the show, who's performing, where it's being held, which is at the O2. They're basically the closing event of Celebration that Sunday night. So it's gonna be a blast. Yeah.
Seriously, you guys need to go so we can live vicariously through you and see all your pictures posted from the parties. So don't miss it.
It's gonna be a good time. The after party stuff is as exciting as everything that's happening at Celebration. That's what's so nuts. Yeah. With Boonta Eve, Alderaan Idol, the Cantina, all of the costuming events and everything. There's so much to do after hours. Even just hanging out at Canary Wharf. Like I can't imagine how many people are going to be running around in their stormtrooper gear, just taking pictures and like it's going to be mayhem.
Yeah, this is going to make the BBC for sure. Like. No doubt about it. This is going to be huge.
Yeah. And look, London's a big city. But even when New York Comic Con happens in New York, like it's all over the news. And that little section of town that like the Javits is in is sort of like inundated with nerds. So it's going to be the same thing in London. Like,
what? We're not nerds.
It's going to be awesome. So that was the autograph news. What are we thinking? How are we feeling about the autograph hall, Ashley?
Oh my God. It is stocked this year. There's so many people that if I were going, I'd be like, I have to meet them, as you can tell by my recaps when we talk about this. But it's a phenomenal crowd of people, and we still have more to go from what we hear. So still
at
early.
Least 5 is what Ben was saying.
5 to 7 maybe.
Yeah, it was 8
Yeah.
to 10 before these three were announced, I think, is what Ben said on the Facebook group. So
Right.
there's potentially another handful coming. We'll find out soon enough. I'm already like I'm good. I was texting with Spencer today. I was like, if they said that was it, I would be like, that's great. Like
Yeah,
there's no
31
need to add
people,
anyone
I
else.
think.
Unless it's Diego or Pedro. Who could they announce? Natalie. Like unless it's Natalie, Harrison,
Oh
Mark,
my
Pedro, or
God.
Diego, like or I shouldn't say do we care? That's wrong. Would it explode in a way bigger than these names? I guess is really the question. Because there are plenty of other people that would be fantastic guests to meet. Like
Right.
I would actually love to see Genevieve O'Reilly on here. I don't know if she's
Oh my
filming or
gosh.
something like, but she's based in that
Yeah.
area.
So
Like
aren't they doing pre-production for season 2 of Andor right now?
I think so. I think I just saw a set photo like today, so it's possible that they can't make it. But
Yeah.
fly us out for the day. I'm sure they'll be at a panel. If you can
Take
get
the
them for a
red eye.
panel, can we get them for a day? By the way, I used to fight that fight. It doesn't always work. If you're in production, you're in production. There's very little you can do about that.
Right. Like I said last week, the only exception I've seen to that is Ming-Na Wen, where she took the red eye from filming Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just to show up for a day in Rhode Island
Yeah.
and then flew right back at the end of the day. So some people are warriors like that. Some people couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Other people
And
are like,
it also
I don't want
depends
to
on
waste
if
my
the
time.
studio will actually release you, because you have to tell them if you're leaving, and if your flight is delayed. It's not a fireable offense necessarily, but like you could definitely lose a day's pay or something. And then at that point, it's like, why are you going to the convention?
And put behind production costs and things like that. And we know Star Wars is a pretty expensive property. So
yeah. Well, I remember
we were talking about it would be nice to have a Ewok reunion. It is Jedi.
There's so many Ewoks in the UK.
Ewok.
Yeah.
I believe Mike Edmonds is going.
Fill in the rest.
Yeah, Warwick should be there. I mean, he is the lead character in theory of Willow, right?
Yeah.
And that is a property that's actively in development at Lucasfilm. I don't think they've confirmed a season 2, but it is like one of the most recent shows on the streaming service. So I'd be surprised he wasn't there. He's also just a great host. Like if you if you're able to do it, if you have the money, hire Warwick Davis to host your thing. By the way, we can't afford him. Companies can afford him. People cannot. But like, if you can get him, he is so charismatic and so interesting, and just like, man, he's a good host. Like, you want him or James Earl Taylor? Those are the two MCs that you want at everything.
Totally. Yeah. My friend my friend Kurt Zimmerman built the R2 Deco. You might have seen it around. It looks like it's teal. It's an R2. It's got like the 50s Cadillac looking. He was wheeling him around the hotel in Chicago, and Warwick Davis saw it, and Warwick fell in love with it. So there's tons of photos on Kurt's page of Warwick with R2 Deco, and it's so adorable.
Yeah, those are some of the best interactions when you run across somebody like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good people too. Having worked with him, I can tell you all the good things you hear about him, also accurate. Yeah.
Sweet.
Let's jump into the episode. And while the episode is playing, we'll talk about some of the other interesting things going on, because we do have a stacked agenda. Some of it is Star Wars, some of it is just general pop culture.
Yeah.
But everyone get your Disney Plus queued up.
Yeah, like I said, this episode is heavy. If you have estranged family issues and
prepare yourself.
Problems being a freedom fighter, this is the episode for you.
Yeah, if you have like the slightest strained relationship with any parent, this is the one for you to feel the feelings. We're in season 3, episode 16, The Legacy of Mandalore.
Right. So this is a classic, and not to quote J.K. Rowling for obvious reasons, but to quote J.K. Rowling as Dumbledore, we must make the choice between what is right and what is easy. And it's so easy for Sabine to side with her family on this, but unfortunately, she's got to do what's right. So
yeah, the Ghost Crew doesn't know how to do anything easy. I'll tell you that. We always pick the right path and the harder path. Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, lead us into the countdown.
Okay, get your Disney Plus ready. We're gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh,
watch the audio.
There we go. I thought I had muted my desktop, but there we go. So we already in the prior episode, Trials of the Darksaber, learned, we sort of heard the audio of like Sabine told us what the situation is with her family, that they're estranged. She's been basically like cut off from them. They view her as a traitor. It's a big problem. Now we're going to go confront them. So we got the show and now, or we got the tell, and now we're going to see the show. And
I love that it's called Crow's Nest because the wrens, it's the whole bird theme with this Mandalorians.
There's a little bit of structure to be clarified. So clans sit under houses, and the wrens are a clan, and they're not from Mandalore proper, because Mandalore has many systems with many planets.
Okay,
they're
right
from
here is the Easter egg. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, do it.
The guy responding to Sabine right now, that's Dave Filoni.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
I didn't even realize.
Yep. His wife told me herself.
That's awesome.
And I didn't know it for the longest time, but she's like, oh yeah, Dave shows up in Rebels, not more than just Chopper. And I was like, really? She was, in Mandalore, when she's letting them know that she's arriving on the crow's nest, right? And I said, yeah. She's like, the voice that responds to her is Dave.
That's crazy.
He kind of just tries to disguise his voice, but yeah, it doesn't work.
If I listen to it back again, I'm sure I could pick it out, because his voice is pretty distinctive. Yeah. I knew from my time at Topps, because we got him approved to sign autographs as Chopper, that he also did some additional voices, and we were trying to poke it to like who that could be. Were there any named characters, like, whatever? And they were like, no, we're not going to tell you. So I only knew Chopper.
Well, now you know the other one.
Yeah, good to know.
And I think he's one of the Mandalorians here.
That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. This is
poor Chopper. Harsh. Oh my god. Poor Chopper.
Meanwhile, I love the armor that these guys wear. This sort of like bright silver. It's not quite white like a stormtrooper, and it's like a little bit snowy, kind of like the planet they're on. It's got a little bit of white to it, and the gold. So it's very like regal and pristine, but also very proper. But also, they haven't seen a day of battle. Like,
yeah, seriously,
they look pretty clean. They're not fighting nothing. They've already surrendered.
The poor Phantom.
This ship, like,
it's been through some stuff.
Yeah.
Poor Kanan. Look at him. He's like, ah.
I like the crew we brought with it's Sabine, Kanan, Ezra, and Fen Rao. Not Nakar Saxon. I do that all the time, by the way. I will always swap their names. That, or I'll call Kanan Freddy, as you guys in the chat already know. In the prior episode, we got the background on like everything about the family and the problems and everything. But this time around, like, Sabine's mission is to go there and convince them to join up with her, because she has the Darksaber. But this, I mean, they could have been killed. Like, this is so high risk.
Like, Ezra, you almost took out her brother. Be nice.
Yeah.
This is the first time she's seeing her brother in a long time.
That's rough. I can't vouch for how you'll be greeted. That's rough.
Yeah.
I know. So going into this episode, sight unseen, I hate her mom. We will evolve those feelings as we go. But as a starting point, I was like, kill the mom. Like, I was like, there wasn't even room for forgiveness in like the first, like, minutes as we're landing. I was like, kill her, like fully fighting, like no chance. But I knew that wasn't how this show was going to go. We don't do that in Star Wars. We like let people evolve and grow and usually find redemption. And in this case, I agree with the redemption. Less fun though.
Oh yeah. And I love how Chopper calls Fen Rao to arms, like, oh, they're gonna need you. Let's go.
Oh, going back to the clan house thing. So
Okay.
the Wrens don't live in the system proper. Like they're not on Mandalore where like Satine was, right? So the Wrens are in another planet that was absorbed by Mandalore because it's many, many systems, many, many planets. Their clan is loyal to House Vizsla. And House Vizsla is obviously the most important house, like other than the Kreeses, basically, right? So the Vizslas and the
Right.
Kreeses are like the two, and the Wrens are part of Kreese, and they're actually very well respected. Even though they're under Imperial control right now. Oh, here we go. Dark
Ursa
Saber
Red.
time. So this is the game changer. I love that like this simple little tool is like the game changer for all of this. Like everyone else's logic and rationale and reasoning just evaporates. Like, what? You have that piece of metal? As if it changes literally everything. It's kind of amazing.
And they're like, it's just a symbol. But yeah, we see all the reverence in your faces. We know what's going on here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying hello.
Poor Ezra. He's trying here. Like, what a way to meet her mom and her family.
I don't like her. Yeah.
Either way, you're still wanted by the Empire, Sabine.
That was better. It's awesome. Yeah, so the Kreeses, the Wrens, being super well respected, really have a chance to lead all of Mandalore. So as we go back to like going into the Mandalorian season 3, we have Tristan, who in theory is still alive. We have Sabine. We have Ursa. All of them make it out of Rebels alive. And the Wrens are very well respected. There's a chance for a Wren to pop up in Mando season 3. The dad's still alive too, I think. Who will meet him next week.
Later on.
Yeah.
I love Ursa's helmet. It's got those extra like earpieces like an owl.
Yeah. That's very cool.
Like a horned owl. It's really cool.
I was trying to understand what it was because it kind of looks like a wolf, kind of looks like an owl. Like there's something like it's a predatory bird.
Yeah, it's definitely that.
Yeah, the other ruling houses, see you as a traitor.
Like that's your child. You tried to shoot down your child. Like, come
Did
on,
they know?
girl.
Yeah. I love that Gar Saxon is the governor of Mandalore. Like, we know how terrible he is. And he's basically the Tarkin of this situation.
It's closer than you think, Ursa.
Oh, force choke from a distance. Like, this is why you need a Jedi friend. Like, I'm tired of dealing with I'm tired of trying to change hearts and minds. Just crush skulls. Like, it's really like this is why I'm Team Kathleen, which we're gonna come to. Like, I'm running out of patience for these people. When we get to our Last of Us discussion, I will tell you like wholeheartedly why I'm fully Team Kathleen, like fully, and understand like everything about her. And by the way, love her, obsessed. I wish she made it. Like, I want to join her team. I want to join her newsletter.
I like that, they can have this discussion, but it's hard on both of them. They're both stubborn.
Yeah. I understand too that like Ursa's trying to protect like everyone, but you actually have a way out now.
Yeah.
Like, we actually have a way out. So let's go sort through this.
So Sabine's father is an engineer, which they'll get into later. So he's of importance to the Empire, but they're kind of holding him for ransom on Mandalore. Yeah. As long as Ursa toes the line, kind of like how what's his face? Director Krennic did with Lyra and Jin with Galen Erso. So they use family to get you. I like how humbling Ursa is here. It's like running away was the best thing that could have happened. Coming back here put you in danger. So she does love her daughter. She's just
she's really trying to figure out like the best way to make everything work. Right. If the husband, the dad is being held prisoner, you can't save him. Like we eventually get there, but at the moment it seems pretty helpless. She did mention the winning it in combat though. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like,
do you know how to wield it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, are we still doing that? Oh,
Stop it.
it feels so ancient and pointless.
Oh.
They're both stubborn, which is,
Mhm.
I think, a good trait. We're going to call
Yeah.
it stick-to-itiveness. Blind Jedi. Oh boy.
Yeah.
It's crazy that this is before the original trilogy, and yet we're now in the period between 6 and 7, and Mandalore is still in flux. Like
Yeah.
this system of planets has really gone through it. And we saw the chaos during the Clone Wars and everything else. Like there's been very little stability in Mandalore, and I don't know how you achieve that. I'm assuming that's going to be the goal of the Mandalorian season 3. It's like, how do we could you repopulate that planet? Like, do we all just go dip in the water, and then like, democratically choose a ruler? Like, what's the plan here?
Like for a planet that needs like real leadership, like right now they have some really ancient and outdated ways of like calling
Yeah.
it into power. Like,
Yeah, is the person who's best at hand-to-hand combat like qualified to run your government? Probably not. Those are different skill sets. Maybe he could be in charge of your army. Like that would be great. Like Satine was obviously like capable of defending herself. We saw that. Like she was a good shot, right? But like
yeah,
she always chose nonviolence, and led as a pacifist. And if she wasn't being undermined by Maul and Paz Vizsla, like things could have actually functioned pretty well in Mandalore. And in fact, it did for a while, but they can't get out of their own way, right? It's and part of it is that like everyone's a little bit power hungry because it's sort of built into the DNA. But like I just don't understand how this is still brewing. And to your point, why we're still resting on these like old traditions.
right. Fun to the
Yeah,
rescue.
get those lightsabers. I like Fenrir a lot. I'd love to do his helmet.
That'd be so cool. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that painting. It's very Klimt. Marissa does a typical thing that most parents do. It's like, oh, she's a child. She doesn't know any better. But they don't take into the account the life experience that people have.
Mhm.
They just see age. Like, obviously, the war is, made adults out of children, literally, in this regard. She's a weapons expert and a former Imperial cadet at the age of 16 years old. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and I've mentioned this numerous times that like we're asking too much of our children in the Star Wars universe. Like they're forced to grow up way too fast. We saw it in the Bad Batch. It was like a big theme of the last several episodes, which we've got to talk Bad Batch later in this episode as well. I almost feel like we need a Bad Batch recap show now. And I'm sad we didn't decide to like also co-host that on like a Thursday or something, or a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Like I know that we've got the Tuesday, the happy hour, which I'm never able to make it to.
Yeah.
But I think tomorrow after that, we're gonna do a watch along.
Mm.
And this one, you see Tristan just kind of like getting all his frustration out on him because he's very, excuse me, honor bound and family and tradition, honor. I mean, everything to him. As you can see, he's wearing this armor for his family, and he's got a lot of rage at Sabine for just jeopardizing that. So
the sibling thing pisses me off because like he should know to trust her more than trusting his parents. Like siblings sort of need to understand that like parents don't always understand the kids the way the kids should understand each other.
Yeah, the kids grew up with each other. Like they know themselves on a deeper level. Right.
Yeah. So
but
this is where like a good Sabine force choke would come in,
Oh, perfect timing. Perfect.
And you start with the mom. Like, I'm taking no prisoners in my war. Let me tell you, I'd have no allies. It'd be me and Scorched Earth. Me, Kathleen, and Scorched Earth. Let me tell you. Yeah.
Melanie Linsky is brilliant. Like, You love
You
to
have
hate
no
her.
idea. I'm gonna do a whole Jedi Archives episode, just me debating Air about why it's Team Kathleen and no one.
And Gar being Gar. Ugh.
Oh, Jesus.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, look, the fix was in. Stand with me or die with your family. It's a good time to die, kid.
Really? You pulled a gun on your sister? Ugh. Where's the force choke? Oh, there you go.
Fenrau and Gar Saxon need their fist fight more than almost anyone else in here. I'd still like accidentally shoot the mom. Like, you know, if I were
Redirect
Kanan
your
or
laser
Ezra,
blast.
yeah, whoopsie. Oh darn! Too bad you weren't wearing a helmet.
Ka-ding. No. I take the helmet and just run. My mom's cat is in here drinking from my cat's water bowl.
I like Sabine with the lightsaber.
Oh yeah. And Ezra knows she's formidable with it, so
Yeah, she's perfectly
blasts do
capable.
nothing.
And now she's going to win it in combat. That even though Gar Saxon doesn't have a claim to it, he is fighting with it, and she does take it from him. So Sabine's the Queen of Mandalore.
Mhm.
Like, let's be clear.
Yeah. Also, like, Gar has no idea how heavy that thing can get. No idea.
He's just swinging wildly, and he's sort of got the jump on her. But like, I don't have time for that either. I would force choke Gar Saxon without anyone knowing, so Sabine can stab him in the heart. Like, can we just
Mandalorian
this,
custom
please?
and law? Come on.
Stupid, useless, and stupid. I hope your planet explodes again.
Thank you, Kanan.
So,
thank you.
Yeah.
Kanan's like, are your customs and law more important than the life of your daughter? Like,
yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
Shot her out of the sky. Come on.
The fireball is great though. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
She singed some eyeballs there. Fenrir was like, I gave her that.
He's a good villain though. I really like Gar Saxon as an antagonist works really well in the whole season, both against the rebels, like the Ghost Crew in totality, specifically for Sabine, and of course as a foil to all of Mandalore. Like, he works on multiple fronts. He's a very, very effective villain. And I'm sad we lose him here, but also his death is meaningful. And it propels the plot forward in a big way. We vanquished another villain this week on Bad Batch, which I want to talk about. And it was a villain I didn't particularly care for, but the way he goes down in flames is spectacular. And I think that's worth discussing.
Yeah.
This is great. Chop his head off.
This is very Anakin.
Attack of the Clones.
Of Anakin.
Oh wait, no, it's Revenge of the Sith, isn't it? When he kills Dooku. Yeah.
She can't do it.
Yeah. Ugh. She's young. I mean, she's also, we have to assume she's killed people at this point, right? They've blown up a lot of things with a lot of ships and whatever else, like even accidentally or secondarily, like.
Thank God Ursa's still watching.
Yeah. Never turn your back on an enemy. Also, never abandon the kill. Like, what are you doing?
Take him away in cuffs or just don't deal.
Mike, which one of them is sexy? Gar Saxon or Fenrau?
Yes, Sarah. Sabine is way better than Anakin.
Correct.
Controversial?
I think there's an interesting, like, in the many what ifs, like, what if Sabine actually had force powers and could be like one of the Jedi? I mean, she's going to be running off with Ahsoka to do things like, what if she helped with the school and taught the next generation of force users? Saxon. Yeah, he I know he was hot too. R.I.P.
It's that silver fox hair. Chopper's like, yay! You know what I would love to know? What exactly Dave Filoni is saying as Chopper. Like,
Yeah, I
there's
want like
some
the
things where it's
actual dialogue.
painfully obvious, but yeah. Like, wrong.
So this is an interesting turn of events, and I didn't see this coming. That Sabine decides to like stay behind for a little while. Because the Ghost crew hasn't been broken up since the show started. Like
Right.
Ezra joined the crew, and other than like Zeb being lost in that one episode, and like even when they do like a mission, it's usually like they're gone and then they're back by the end of the episode. Like they've never not the six of them like been together in the final moments of the episode or in the same location or whatever, or said we're taking a hiatus for something. Like even with the Chopper base and like going around finding various locations, they're usually on the same planet at all times. Like this was surprising. This took me by surprise, and I actually didn't know what they were doing. I was like, are they writing her off? Like, are we not going to see them again? Because this is late in season 3. Like, in theory, we could not see her until deep into season 4. It was almost like a farewell episode for Sabine, which made me really concerned. But by the way, that's not what happened, obviously. And we all know the closing moments of Rebels. Like she's the linchpin. Like she gives the final monologue. So super important. All right, what everyone think? Are you emotionally devastated and or angry the way I am?
You just wanted Ursa to pay for.
I want to slap her. At the very least, like minor physical violence. A little force choke, a little like, I mean, Tristan got shot in the shoulder. Like, why not her? I have a problem with her for a variety of reasons, and we could do a whole dialogue on that too. But basically, I think she's a bad mom. Like that's it. Like she's a bad mom.
And you can't blame Mandalore for it. Like these are your children. They're not soldiers. Again.
Yeah.
Stop putting your children in that position.
Particularly interesting or effective. And as we start thinking who should rule Mandalore, she ain't it. Like maybe Bo-Katan could punch her. I'm trying to think more and more about like the Bo-Katan and Armorer and eventually the team up. And I feel like Ursa Wren knows Bo-Katan. They go way back, and I bet you that they're gonna have a problem. Like if and when they recount. By the way, I don't know if we're getting a live action Ursa Wren. Like that doesn't seem. No one's screaming for that, right? But if it were to happen, Bo-Katan could just punch her for no reason. That would be fun. I'm just saying.
Just walk up to her. Yeah. Hello, Bo-Katan.
We don't even need to know why. Be like, we've all watched the episode. So that was Sabine's family, everyone. If you feel bad about your family, tune in and watch this mess.
Watch Clan Ren.
Yeah, they're a disaster. The brother is less terrible.
This is what you get when you put the faith in the Empire. Again, this is what you get when you put your faith in the Empire.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Will Smith here.
It's very it's the lesson that no one seems to learn, but I think we're seeing it play out more and more across like various parts of the saga. Which I think we should talk about that next. Other parts of the saga. Bad Batch. How good was Bad Batch this week?
So it was a double episode, and it went big, as Omega would say.
Yeah, I thought it reminded me of some of the best episodes of Clone Wars. With like I don't even know how to describe it. The political intrigue, the fact that the Batch was like not even in the first episode was a little bit weird, but I was okay with it. Because I think I think the premise of the show is not just about these 6 guys. It's like the rise of the Empire in the earliest days.
But also the clones and how the loss of Camino affects them directly. Yeah. So we see our boy Bail Organa back in the Senate. And
Sharon Duncan Brewster as that senator with the gold hood. I remember her name and not the senator's name. Pamela or something.
Pamela, that's it. Yeah, I love her in Dune, and I'm so glad she's back in this. It was really cool to hear her in this. So you remember her from Rogue One. She was the one that was listening to Jin and the time to fight is now. That speech that Jin has
Yeah.
in front of the whole council.
She's got the same gold hood that she's wearing for 15 years or whatever it is, or 20
Fancy
years.
as
Yeah.
So,
And that's fine.
Yeah.
People don't own a lot of clothing in Star Wars. That's sort of a thing.
Yeah.
But she was immediately recognizable, and the voice actress is the same actor who played her in Rogue One, which was cool. I like those little things. More importantly, like the way they talk about the clones in this episode is obviously very similar to discourse we have about returning soldiers from war in like real life.
Yeah.
So this felt like weirdly grounded and oddly relevant to today's political climate, even though it's like the silliest show with the senator who's got blue skin running around, like just, you know, looking like an alien. But really has
Senator Chuchi,
Senator Chuchi, which we've seen in Clone Wars. She's from Clone Wars as well. She was really getting it done. She was like, I'm going to give a voice to the clones. And she's like, I'm going to go talk to them and find out what they need. And they deserve pensions.
Yeah.
Like,
so she was really the VA for the clones. Like she was campaigning hard for like USAA for clones. And it was really cool. But the turn it took with, you know, the clones and the bar on Coruscant.
On like, 79s.
Yeah. It's just, it was hard because it's like, okay, Rampart send people out there to keep this clone quiet, those who knew the truth, and he was having them followed. So it's just hush.
Well, we talked about this, I think, when season 1 was airing, that there's no way a massacre of this size would be kept under wraps for so long. There's always going to be a whistleblower. Someone's going to come forward. It seems like maybe multiple people have tried to come forward and have either been killed or silenced. We saw it happen on screen earlier in the season when Rampart killed that one clone who wouldn't falsify the report. And it's like, oh, you're dead
right
then.
In his office. Yeah.
It was very that. So the cover up is big. But the twist of twists, the M. Night Shyamalan of twists, is that, as always, we've played directly into the hands of Emperor Palpatine. And it's like, damn it, Eden, I should have seen it coming because I know better. But even I didn't see how this episode was going to end.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Like the checkmate for Emperor Palpatine. Like
always.
He just comes up out of the ground and even the music just kicks in and it's so ominous.
Yeah.
And
it's like, how does no one realize he's evil? It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Like you don't see his face anymore. Like for years, you knew what he looked like.
He's temporarily ascending from hell to berate you, twist your words, gaslight you, and get exactly what he wanted, and then he just sinks back down with Masamita by his side.
Masamita.
Who I love. It's Stephen Stanton in his greatest role. He's done a million other things, but Masamita is perfect because he's like he's
bigger than Obi-Wan
and
Rebels.
Emperor.
Come on.
I know. I just love Masamita. Because he knows Palpatine's been Darth Sidious the whole time. Like the entire time. He's also just like the worst of the worst politically. And I want to see him in like live action in Andor. I think that would be really fun.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool. So Sherry's asking a good question.
Yeah.
All right, what do you think, Ashley? I have thoughts on this, but I want your opinion first.
Oh, no. I really think Palpatine always has a plan B. Always. So if this didn't work out,
plan Q. Yeah.
He's playing chess. We're all playing checkers.
So Sherry's question, I'm going to read it to the group for anyone who might not be reading. Did they play into the Chancellor's hands or Palpatine's hands, or was it his plan B? I feel like it's a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B here because he wanted all the clones decommissioned, right? And he was going to get that no matter how they got it. So whether if the information didn't get out, like he would just be able to push them away regardless. And if the information did get out, there was a new way to vilify the clones and Rampart and continue to push away the blame. Like it's so crazy that the blame just always pushes down and never like there are never consequences at the top. And he still somehow kind of has like his emergency powers, even though the war's over, because of the fake insurgents that we're hearing about in the mid rim and the outer rim. And I was like, what insurgents? We're following them. They're not effective. They can't do anything. They barely got started in the Andor time period, not being able to do it. Like we barely have an insurgency at Andor time period. And you're telling me in year one of the the Empire being formed, there's insurgencies. Like, get serious. So they're using fear to manipulate. But Sherry, I think he had both plans laid out, and they both yielded the same. It was a flow chart that both went to the same direction, like regardless of to choose your own adventure, but there's only one ending.
Yeah. A million different paths to the same place.
Oh, without a doubt, the only way to get there. Of course, we know how it's going to go. We know we're going to decommission the clones. We know that emergency powers are going to continue. We know that fascism is spreading. We know how this is going. It's more about the how and like the specific steps along the way. I didn't think he was going to win this one. I really thought we won it. I was like, oh, what a great little happy ending for like the mid-season finale.
Oh yeah.
And then he rises up from the pit of hell and puts everyone in their place.
Oh my God.
I was like, son of a bitch.
Exactly. I sat there and I'm watching it and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I was so mad.
He got us so good. And of course, Ian McDiarmid returns as Palpatine, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, get him on your Bad Batch.
Who can sign everything.
Yes.
Yeah, come on every poster. He's in
all the things.
He's technically now in Empire Strikes Back, of course, because of the retconning. So he's in 5, he's in 6, he's in 1, 2, 3, he's in Rebels, he's not in Clone Wars. Oh wait, no, he is. He's in season 7 Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So he's in Rebels, which I was blown away when he showed up in Rebels. They're some of my favorite episodes. He's obviously in Bad Batch. He popped up in Obi-Wan Kenobi, so we can count him as a signer for Obi-Wan. He was not in Andor yet. But we have to assume he will be. And weirdly, he wasn't in Rogue One. Like, that's what's strange. I thought it was strange that he wasn't in Rogue One.
He wasn't in Rogue One. It's just Vader.
Baby boy, you need some attention.
Oh, Key Cat. He's like, look at me, I'm awake.
Yes. I'm gonna hold him upside down like this, like a baby.
Oh my God, my cat would be like, no, release me, human.
He's a very lovey boy. So I was blown away and so mad at myself for not seeing it coming.
I know.
Especially because I went to see Knock at the Cabin on Tuesday, the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
How was it?
I loved it. Cool. Jason liked it. Batista's amazing. But I was fully prepared in my head, like, a twist is coming. I'm in the mindset, right? Like, and then on Wednesday, it's like my brain just forgot to continue to work and was like just watching the show. And I was like, look at us winning the episode. And obviously the Bad Batch, I say it every week, is the bleakest thing on television next to The Last of Us. And then it proved to be true with these 2 episodes. I was like,
oh my God.
Like, we won and somehow we still lost.
I like that we still keep our Bad Batch in there. And we also have Omega learning about the clones, and there are some good people that are really fighting for the good of the clones, but there are some people who just despicable human beings, and she learned about political espionage and
that was neat to see like what does the senator do through the eyes of Omega, because it has changed since the Clone Wars days. We didn't actually see Mon Mothma. She's not a traitor yet, so she would be in the Senate at this point, obviously. But I'm glad they're showing us slightly different people than what we're seeing in Andor. Like, we saw more aliens this time around. Which I think
terrible aliens.
I think they're going to push out a lot of the aliens and make it more human centric as we get, closer to the time of A New Hope. And I think that's part of like the anti-alien sentiment, right? Like, we're going to see like the banking clan and some of these other industries get vilified. Some of them are legitimately villains, but I think there's also just going to be almost like xenophobia, racism, etc. That push out some of the alien species. All right.
Exactly. So Omega is learning a lot right now through this. And we also get that kind of devastating thing like we just watched in Legacy of Mandalore, where Sabine staying behind with her family. We have a little moment with Echo and Omega, and they kind of bond a little bit about, their time with the clones and Clone Force 99. So I'm like, at the beginning of that episode, I'm like, oh, something's going to happen with him. Oh my gosh. So when Rex shows up to assist them, as he's called in by Slip, who's one of the clones that was on Rampart's ship, to protect him and get him off world, Slip is killed and Rex calls in Clone Force 99 to help. So Echo decides to stay behind with Rex and do some good. So he leaves our boys for a while, and Omega is
sad about
close
that.
to him. It was really sad.
The crew is shrinking. But at the
Like
same
our
time,
Rebels crew, yeah.
at the same time, though, we are building some of the, like I've referred to them as the Island of Misfit Toys, the coat of many colors of random allies that we're picking up along the way. Wanda Sykes, etc. Ernie Hudson, all the other people who have popped in throughout the season, because eventually they will need help, right? Like Plan 99, the flip of 66 is going to be something bad, whatever that ends up being. I don't know the specifics, but it's going to be bad. And I actually think it's going to be wide scale extermination of clones. Like that's the only thing I could think. Like the reverse of 66 is the clones killing everyone. 99 would be everyone killing the clones. And there won't be that many left because there aren't that many left. When we get to Rebels, I know they age really fast, but like Rex and Wolf look old, but not elderly. Like no one would have died of old age necessarily.
They
like,
look like they're in their 50s or 60s.
Yeah, and like 1980s, 50s, right? So like they're kind of slightly older, you know, they look like they're battle damaged, right? Like they fought in the war. Their
Tom
bones
Bosley.
are melting. Oh yeah, exactly. Oh my god, the the Chiefs, the coach looked like Tom what's his name from the diabetes commercial?
Wilford Brimley.
Wilford Brimley. And so Jason,
Andy Reid, what are you doing?
At one point we're watching the game last night and he's like, do you think the Chiefs coach is concerned about his diabetes? And I wasn't looking up, and then I look up and I just see him and I nearly fell off the couch. And then Jason's like, or is he really wondering about which one of them is the thing? And I just couldn't. Believe me when I say we don't know a thing about sports, but we laid into this guy just for looking like
my gosh,
what's his name, Wilford Brimley, for like a good 20 minutes. Yeah, it was like the roast of the coach of the Chiefs. Not because he's overweight or anything, he just looked like Wilford Brimley, and so we were losing our minds. Like it was just so funny. But yeah, so I don't think there are that many clones left, and I'm nervous that it's going to be in another extermination event. I'm very, very nervous.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
so
and we see it in Kenobi.
Yeah,
exactly.
We see there's none of them left. There's none of them left.
There's bare minimum, and you see that spirit coin for spirit credit for.
Yeah. It was very, very sad.
Yeah. So.
All right.
The good news is Rampart got a little bit of his own medicine, but the bad news is Palpatine won ultimately.
All it did was like help. We just swept everything under the rug. So,
like doing the right thing does not get you anywhere when Palpatine is on the lamb. So
I do see a question in the comments around the sniper. Did we think it was Crosshair? I suspected it wasn't Crosshair because
I thought it was at first.
Too obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was
didn't think it was.
Is he here now, killing his own people? Like, what the crap? So I was kind of upset, but I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm glad that wasn't the case. I love the idea of true believers, whatever that means. And the guy who bit into is like, you know, we'll call it a cyanide chip, but it was like an electrocution situation.
Yeah.
Which seems worse. Like I was like, oh, this again, it's bleak. This show is so bleak. You know, and Rex coming. Rex was obviously the person.
Rex is like the weather detective. He's like the Columbo of the Bad Batch.
Well,
like
he's the Fulcrum
comedic,
of this
obviously.
time period, right?
Yeah,
like it's him. So if we think about who Fulcrum is, and it's not officially Fulcrum, but like,
do you think that he was the first Fulcrum?
You know, that would be interesting. I think it's Bail Organa is the first Fulcrum, but the idea of like him and Rex because they go way back. That's super cool. I love that. I never really had Rex on my Fulcrum like list until I just like
he's got that robe. He's a shadowy figure. Like, all those robe people
in and showing up and like saving the day. Very that. So I think that could be cool.
Oh yeah. That's so cool.
The Cyanide 2 thing was creepy. The true believer thing is interesting because I also think it's important to show that yes, good people can be brainwashed to do terrible things, but some people just do terrible things and believe in them. Like that's the whole point of the First Order. Like the Empire, there's a little bit of plausible deniability. Like I talk about it all the time. You join the government and all of a sudden it's a fascist government. How do you get out? And like, how do you form a rebellion and what do you do? Some people are kind of just trapped. Some people are actually into it and are really bad. The First Order knew better. They weren't Nazis. They were neo-Nazis. They believed in the cause from beforehand and chose to follow down that line. Like, that's a very different kind of thing. So these true believers and like the next generation, like the First Order types, they're the ones to be scared of.
Oh yeah. Now, do you think that Crosshair also has that electric tooth built in, just in case he's caught?
Oh, I don't know. The True Believers are
Because he
probably
was
like,
left on Camino for 31 days, like a
yeah.
whole month on Earth month on
Mhm.
Camino, and he stayed loyal to the Empire. So is he considered a true believer?
Maybe. I mean, he could be right. If we're going to start determining like who really believes in the cause of the Empire without the manipulation of the chip, he's on that list. I think True Believers may be a path to becoming a Death Trooper.
Yeah.
That could be
Mm.
interesting. Um,
The first Death Troopers.
Yeah, like because they're obviously excellent shots, and the Death Troopers are. I think the Death Troopers, it's canon that they are former clones, as opposed to stormtroopers. I'd have to double check that, because they're supposed to be the elite troopers, right? And the only good troopers have ever been clone troopers. The stormtroopers are terrible. As we've seen, there's hardly any of them they're barely competent. Which it's interesting now because we're going to get into something I think very controversial, but also very meaningful to the boomer generation whose franchise this started with, right? Star Wars was made for boomers, right? Like when they were children.
Yeah. Or
The
teenagers.
draft,
Yeah.
like conscription, being forced into the draft to serve, like this paperwork that they were talking about in the episodes was not, they're sort of framing it as like a volunteer military, but you know what that becomes when they actually need to grow the number and they eliminate all these clones. They're going to talk draft, like, and or conscription, or however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Like
And
I
then it will
actually,
lead into actually like taking children
yeah,
away
of
from their
course,
families, like
which is what
infants
they did
away
in the
from their
first order.
families.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So,
I think that, like, as much as I'll make a controversial brave statement. I don't trust boomers with a lot of sensitive topics. I do think they'll handle this one really delicately because they were the most adversely affected by it. Like
right.
my dad was of that generation where he was
Mine
almost
too.
drafted to go to Vietnam,
Mine was.
and
Yeah.
missed it by 6 months. So it was the kind of
Oh,
thing where like he was just like his birthday was early in the draft lottery, the 6 months before, so he never went, which was
that's
I think very
awesome.
fortunate.
Yeah.
My
My
grandfathers both served in the military, voluntarily when they were younger, when they were of age to serve both in World
yeah.
War II. But like
They were
my
Captain
parents,
America.
yeah, right. So my parents remember though vividly the discourse around Vietnam and how unpopular the war was and what the draft was like, because they like literally couldn't. There was no volunteer military capable of fulfilling the need as said by the government, right? So then you
Yeah.
have to go into draft. Like
Yeah.
that's insane. Like I can't
And my
imagine.
dad was drafted. Yeah.
Yeah,
So he went to Vietnam in the Navy
yeah.
and
My
he
uncle did
was,
too. Yeah,
yeah. But even though he was on a destroyer, he was still exposed to Agent Orange.
yeah. It's
So
crazy.
it's it's
I mean, the number of
horrible that,
I mean, the wall in DC,
yeah.
the number of the quantity of
Oh
names,
yeah.
which the wall that they have up of the names. I was like, that's the wall. Like you just say the wall, and you kind of know what people
You
are
know,
talking
yeah.
about. Yeah. I actually think this is a topic that will be handled very well, and
Yeah.
it's crazy to think that I'm looking forward to like a Star Wars animated show to talk about like a really dystopian moment in American history. Like I
Yeah.
think they would tackle it well if they were able to do it. I think Andor even has a chance to talk about conscription.
Absolutely.
I think that could
Yeah.
be really interesting. All right, let's move on to even bleaker topics. The Last of Us. Whew,
Uh,
what an episode. And then I do want to hit the Super Bowl before I forget. Actually, one quick thing on the Super Bowl
superb
while it's like
owl.
fresh in my mind.
Yes.
The superb owl. I hope everyone had a wonderful superb owl, by the way. Um, the the standout for me commercial wise was Rakuten with Alicia Silverstone because I love
Yes.
her.
Oh my God. I
I
thought
thought it
of
was
you
so well
first
done.
thing.
It was
Uh,
great.
and
I
Christian
hope
Siriano designed her outfit.
Oh, very
So
cute. It was
phenomenal.
super well done. I loved it. And then I was not blown away by anything else, but I did think the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, which didn't need to happen at the Super Bowl, but it was just like the perfectly done trailer because we all know what we're getting into. This is their last ride. The song choice, Rainbows, Since You've Been Gone, um, perfection, like that orchestral overlay that they put over the original song. It looks like it's going to be an emotional gut punch, and it's kind of like the send off for James Gunn from Marvel and him now moving over to
Yeah.
DC. And I
I'm
thought the
excited
Flash
for it.
trailer looked good too. But like I was all into Guardians and the Rakuten ad, and that was kind of it. Like nothing else really did it for me.
I loved those two, but I also loved the Crown Royal commercial with Dave Grohl because I'm a Foo Fighters fan. You know I'm gonna say
Oh, of
that. It
course.
was
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was so funny. Like, thank you, Canada, for all these things. And I want to know by a show of hands how many people were actually looking up if football was created by a Canadian. Because I know my mom was sitting there looking it up on her phone, and I'm like,
Double
really?
checking.
You had
Yeah.
to look this up? Like, you don't think Dave Grohl does his homework? No. The other one was the Dunkin' Donuts, Ben Affleck and Jennifer
That was
Lopez
cute.
ad.
Yeah.
Like
When she
I
said,
was,
"Get me a glazed," I was like, "That's funny." Yeah.
yeah, grab me a glazed.
Grab
I
me a
was like,
glazed.
oh my God. So I'm driving home from work today. I'm on 195 driving home from my shift. There's a billboard over in New Bedford and it says, grab me a glazed. I'm like, really? They quoted her line? Like, Ben is
Well,
Massachusetts and they quote her.
of
But
course.
yeah,
Look,
I
that's what
was,
I took away. I kept saying, like,
yeah.
grab me a glazed. That's the kind of thing that just like wins the ad. It's the where's the beef, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So it's
like
part of their promotion they were doing. They're trying to promote, like, if you get like a coffee, you get a donut for $1. I'm not an ad
yeah.
for Dunkin' Donuts. It's just their promotion.
You do live in Boston, so you kind of are. That's
Yeah.
why
So,
Boston has so many people. They need to maintain the quantity of Dunkin' Donuts.
but it's like, it was so like her line and not Ben's line. And was that what they were arguing about at the Grammys? Like, that's what I had to know.
Well, I heard that they wanted to do it. Ben wanted to do the bit and she didn't want to. And so they were arguing about that, but they were still on camera because he was like, why don't you want to talk to Trevor Noah? He's really nice. And she was like, I don't want to, and you can't make me. Like, that's essentially what it was.
Yeah.
Like from what I heard. But yeah, the Grab Me a
Okay.
Glaze is like super catchy. And
Yeah.
here's like I don't know either of them. And I don't really
Yeah,
care
me
about
either.
either of them either. But their commercial seems to be really blowing up in a big way. So
And his brother did an iconic SNL digital short of a guy
okay.
being at Dunkin' Donuts. So look up SNL Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
It's priceless. You'll laugh your butt off. It's so Boston, it's not even funny.
Well, that was the Super Bowl for me.
Yes.
But Last
And
of Us, which aired
Rihanna.
on
Oh my God, Rihanna.
Oh, Rihanna was great. Love her. I can't believe that's how to announce a pregnancy, by the way.
Mhm.
Because Beyonce did something similar, I think, at like the Grammys, where all of a sudden she was like, "I have a baby bump," and Rihanna was like, "Girl, this is what I was gonna do, whether I was pregnant or not." She was gonna just, but it was hit, number one hit, number one hit, number one hit.
Oh yeah.
Hit.
I
There's
wanted
not
Tom
one
Holland
song
to
in there
come
I didn't
out and do
recognize.
Umbrella. I wanted that so bad.
You know
I
what's so
think
funny?
even
is, like,
Zendaya did. Zendaya posted on her
yeah,
Instagram. It was a picture of Rihanna like up close, and
yeah,
then the next story is her going at the lip sync when Tom came out
of
as
course.
Rihanna. So it was
That lip
really,
sync will live on forever.
oh, it totally will.
I do love all of the memes that they've turned her stage into like a Super Mario Smash Brothers level. Like it's all that. So like they're like
Yeah.
Rihanna
Oh
has
my
entered
God.
the battle, and then it's like all the characters like playing on the platforms and everything. It's so stupid.
If
But I
you
love
played
that
Mario
stuff.
Brothers in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, like honestly, your level of anxiety just went up through the roof. So
That and
at
like
least mine did.
like playing Smash on a stage that's multi-platform as opposed to the original Smash was just like a straight line. Like though I can't do those levels. I fall right into the hole.
Oh my
Like
God,
there's
I'm
no way.
terrible.
Yeah.
No
No,
coordination.
I'm bad. I'm bad at Smash.
Pikachu blasts me right into the pit. It's every single time.
Yeah, it was fun at the fraternity in college when there were no stakes. But like I can't do this now. All right, let's hit The Last of Us real quick, and then we'll send you off on a wonderfully bleak note on The Last of Us. I thought that this was such an action-packed, fun episode, and like I know it's not fun, like, but like so high energy in terms of fighting and action. And I think this is what a lot of people who are fans of the game were probably looking for. Like the bloater
And also dreading
arrives,
because
and
they know what happens.
of course,
Yeah.
meeting Henry and Henry's son or little
Brother.
brother.
Yeah.
Like I thought was beautiful. By the way, I'm team Kathleen, but at the same time, I also understand what Henry did. Like if I was trying to take care of my little sister, like I would have done the same thing. And if I was Kathleen, I would also feel the same way. They're both right and they're both wrong. And that's what's great about this show is that
Yeah.
like from Kathleen's perspective, Henry's the villain. From Henry's perspective, he knows what he did is wrong, but understands and there might be consequences to it. But like he was willing to do it anyway. He made that decision.
Now, would
also
Kathleen
knows-
make the same decision if it was her brother who had leukemia and needed medicine?
Probably. And that's what's funny about it, because she's also self-aware. That's what I really like about her, because she talks extensively about the brother, how the brother was like, I want you to
Melanie
forgive him.
Linsky, phenomenal actress. She
I'm obsessed
slayed
with
it as
her. I'm
Kathleen.
gonna watch her in everything she's ever done now. Like, that's what
So
happens. It's like,
she's married to Jason Ritter, son of John
he
Ritter.
is?
Yes, that's
Shut
her
up. I
husband.
love Jason
So Dipper
Ritter.
Pines, he's the voice
Yeah.
of Dipper Pines in Gravity Falls,
Yep.
which is one of my
I had
favorite
no
shows ever.
idea.
Yeah, so they're married. Yeah, lovely people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just something when she was talking extensively, like you see her and Perry in her childhood bedroom, and she's talking about her and her brother growing up in there and things like that. And it just made me sad because it's like she had a brother, and granted she lost him, but in a a way that didn't have to be. But you're gonna understand, like Fedra and Kansas City were terrible, terrible
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Fedra was the real enemy. And
Yeah.
because Fedra it created the structure that other
Yeah.
people had to do bad things just to survive or to protect
Yeah.
themselves or whatever.
Or their
And
loved ones. Yeah.
yeah, I do love though that like Kathleen's brother was like the leader of the resistance and like chipped away at all the Fedra, whatever, for however long, and I guess led through kindness and was like forgive Henry and whatever else. And the one guy though, her secondhand man, like the second in command, the one who's actually the guy in the video game,
Perry,
but like
yeah.
Perry was like, you're the one who actually overthrew Fedra. It took you. Your brother didn't do it. He was reminding her that like she's the bitch who got shit done, right?
Yeah.
Like she's the one who like.
But I think her brother
Fedra.
gave her that level of humanity. And
I don't think she has any humanity. Like
not anymore since he died, because she's just like,
and
deuces, I'm going out there,
Oh, here's the thing though, like it worked. Like she overthrew Fedra, and then here's why I love her, and I'll tell you why. The scene in the prison when she's got everyone sitting there and she's like, look, no one here has to die. We'll put you on trial. Obviously you'll be found guilty. That's how that's going to go. I fell off the couch laughing. I had to pause the show and rewind it back when she was like, you'll be put on trial. Obviously you'll be found guilty. That's how that'll go. It was just so matter of fact. She is already determined,
That would be you if you were like in her shoes. It totally would be.
For sure. I mean, these people were criminals in her mind, right? And like they overthrew Fedra, and these people, I guess, got in the way of that. And so they were complicit, I guess we'll say, is the best. I laughed so hard and thought it was the funniest thing. And I was like, I'm obsessed with this lady. I love everything about her. And she's obviously lying to these people, and there's no way they're gonna live. And then as soon as she closed the door, and she's like, burn the bodies, it'll be faster. I was like, where's the email newsletter to subscribe to her channel? Because she's got the right plan. Like you can't show mercy. We saw it tonight in the Rebels episode. Sabine turned her back and didn't kill Gar Saxon. And what happened then? He tried to kill her. Luckily, her mom didn't blink and was useful for a second. Like if her mom wasn't paying attention, Sabine would be dead and we'd be back to square one. So it's the kind of thing where it's like you actually can't show mercy. The problem is she took it a step too far, right? Like she did the Maul route. Like Maul lived because he was angry and like got stuff done, right? But he went
that's
too
what
far.
Kathleen is. She's angry.
Exactly. She like Maul is Kathleen. That's sort of my thesis statement.
Yeah.
But like, and vengeance kept her going, and she lived through the anger. But
yes,
she should
Mike.
have just
Fedra was the Empire. Yes.
Fedra was the Empire. Yeah. The thing is, like, she should have stopped chasing Henry when they realized the ground was sinking and they had a bloater problem or whatever it was. She was like, "Oh, we need to handle this first, and then we'll get Henry." Like
when
he
she
can't
said
escape anyway.
Yeah, when he said that they drove the infected underground.
Yeah.
And
I was
like, so I thought of like when they went in that underground tunnel and you see like the little kids' room with the goal post painted on the wall and all the comic books and like it was really cute, safe haven. But I'm like, where are all those people?
Oh yeah, they're all dead. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like they're gonna show up in a big way. So
we knew it was coming. And at the very end of the episode, when she goes to confront Henry, like she should have stopped there. Like it should not have they should have figured out. She was like, but she was too blinded she had the tunnel vision, the way that Maul had the tunnel vision.
He is. He's right down the side of my gun.
It was all perfect up until that point. But I agreed with everything she did to overthrow Fedra and to kill those people and to chase down Henry. But at some point it was like, stop chasing Henry for a second and go deal with the other issues that are happening. And then you could have worked with Joel. Joel would have really liked you. I think Joel would have liked her. So, and it wouldn't have ended well for Henry, which I feel bad about because I like Henry. I'm also Team Henry. And I think that's the surprising thing. You could be Team Henry and Team Kathleen and understand that those things are at odds.
Yeah.
and sort of root for both of them. They both lost. Who are we kidding though? Like this show doesn't have winners.
No, there's no winners in this world.
Yeah.
Wanted to give a shout out to Lamar Johnson, who played Henry, and Kevin Woodard, who played Sam. The big change making Sam deaf in the show when he's not in the game.
That was very cool.
Very cool. Kevin is a deaf actor. The whole cast, Bella, everybody learned ASL.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
Nice.
And I watched like the little like inside the episode at the end of the episode that they have every week. So it's Bella Ramsey, who plays Ellie, in the cast learning ASL, and his interpreter was helping teach them everything. So his mom was there and helping them as well. So
that's fantastic.
Huge.
The kid was great. He was so tremendous in that role.
And that little like, the magic erase
the magic paper.
Oh,
I love it. I want one of those.
When he started asking her about being afraid, I was like, oh no. Oh no. And she tried to save him with her blood. And
very childish innocence, because like it's going to take more than that. You got to synthesize that blood. It needs to be a certain percentage. Like you can't just like drop your blood in like it's magic. Which I also hope it means that like I hope she doesn't think that it's foolish for her to think that something could happen. Like but yeah. All right, meanwhile, I know we are out of time, and we don't want to end on something super bleak. So we want to give you a couple fun things to be on the lookout for and to keep tabs on. One, Empire Magazine gave us a little preview of their cover story for this issue, and it's all about the Mandalorian and the Mandalorians. The subscriber issue has a page full of helmets on the cover, and I can't identify all of them. So I'm curious as to who are these people. Hopefully we'll get answers to that. Bo-Katan and Din Djarin and Grogu were all like featured in a picture together. So there's a whole thing about Bo-Katan and the pain of her character. So that it's going to be exciting. So I highly recommend when that comes out to buy that issue and give it a read.
It's so exciting. I love when Empire does things like this. So
they do very good Star Wars coverage. Like they're more than Vanity Fair even. Like
I think it's because they're UK based.
Yeah, they get it done. I think they're connected to Pinewood somehow. Like they know what's going on.
They get the scoop.
And then we've got a ton of great programming for you guys on the network this week. Starting yesterday, actually, we had a Unifying Force episode. Actually, on Saturday, we had the news desk. So if you haven't watched that yet, check out our interview with Martin, Jed, and Mark from ASH, all about Cantina 2. So if you're going to be at Celebration, you can learn all about that event. We had a new episode of Unifying Force yesterday, and we have a Jedi Archives this Sunday. In the in-between of that, Frank's show, the Celebrating Autograph show, was on right before this. So if you didn't catch that, that's also up on YouTube, or will be up on YouTube now. Tuesday, tomorrow is Bad Batch, it's Happy Hour, followed by Bad Batch Watch Along, which I really want to try to make tomorrow if I can. I missed it last week because I was at the movie, The Knock at the Cabin, which I recommend. I think you should see it. I think it's good.
Did you get your Ant-Man tickets?
Yes, I'm going on Friday.
I'm going Thursday night and Saturday afternoon.
You have two already. I'm going Friday with some friends, and then there's a thought that some of us might go on Sunday also, because we have off on Monday for President's Day. So
that's right.
Yeah, we'll still be on air, by the way. So we're still on for Monday. We're going to be live. We're not doing a pre-record or anything.
Yeah, it's not a major holiday.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. We're doing Heroes of Mandalore Part 1. And then we'll come back the following week for Part 2 and our road to The Mandalorian Season 3. And this Thursday, we have quite the episode on Thursday. Do you want to tell everyone about that? The watch along?
Yeah, so we got some stunt people from Book of Boba Fett. So we have one of them played, not only is Boba Fett stunt double, but he played the deputy who worked with Sheriff.
The hot deputy.
The hot deputy, who, better than to run up on Cobb Vanth, but it's okay.
JJ Dashnaw. Do yourself a favor and Google image him if you want to learn more about JJ Dashnaw. So he's the sheriff and the stunt coordinator and the hot deputy. And then I'm gonna say this wrong. Iyad Elbatar, who also does Boba Fett stunts. So we've got two. Thank you, Mike, for confirming. Are any of the women going to check him out too? Yes,
Right
I
there
look at
on my phone.
gorgeous. And then I'm looking at him in
Gorgeous.
Book of Boba Fett. He's good looking in Boba Fett, but in real life, he's stunning. So I was like, what are they doing that they're making him less good looking in the TV show? What's happening here? They do that sometimes. They do that in a few places where I was like, is this person too good looking for the show in which they're in? So they have to like scruffy them up or something. But we have two excellent Boba Fett stunt people joining the show on Thursday with the boys. That's going to be a really fun one. And then, like I mentioned, Jedi Archives after that. And our next Intergalactic News Desk is in 2 weeks. So it'll be the 25th, I believe, whatever that Saturday is. More information to come on that. And yeah, we're live on the 20th, even though it is President's Day. So hopefully you guys will be around and be able to join us.
Yeah, you have the day off. Come join us.
Yeah. I think that's everything for today. We made it through the agenda. Not too long after time either.
Yeah, you know how we do.
Cobb husband. Yep. Dead now. We're one out.
They did that in Monster with Charlize Theron. Yeah. Well, they had to. She looked like that in real life. But they just put a helmet on poor JJ. It's terrible. It's a crime.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining us this week, guys. The watch along was fun. We got through our agenda and the massive celebration guest list. And we will catch you guys next Monday. May the first be with you.
See you then. Bye, guys.